Back as 9 on Your Side presents Living in the Shadows. Now, to this point, you've seen a family come to America from Mexico. When the father leaves, the mom is left struggling to support her family in Cincinnati. And there is fear, but there is also determination. For journalists Breanna Molloy and Kevin Necessary, the end presented another challenge.
There's no definitive end, so I had to find an emotional end.
And you know, I decided how I'm going to end the video story too.
Oh yeah?
Let's show the family your comics.
I can tell you there's a lot of emotion there as the family takes a look at this project firsthand, looking at a mirror, really. And the issues in this community are not just with that family. You could really duplicate what this family has gone through in every community across our entire country. And we want to talk about some of the issues here in Cincinnati directly. And in fact, the panel we've gathered here on the left side of your screen, you have Samantha Cyril's Program Manager in our Community Justice and Peace Center. Thank you so much for being here. Luz Elena Schimmel, Santa Maria, Cincinnati, here in the middle, and Father Michael Puckey, of course, St. Julie Billiard Catholic Church. You may remember Father Puckey with Maribel Trujillo's case that we covered extensively for months and months, the Fairfield mother of 3 who ultimately was deported because of her immigration status. When you hear this family's story, and I say that it can be duplicated in every community across the country, I mean, that is truth. This is happening. This debate, this battle of immigration, some in the family are legal, some of them are U.S. citizens, others, if they got pulled over by police or had that door knock, they could be deported.
Without a doubt. And as you say, it's replicated not just in Cincinnati, but throughout the country.
So what are you seeing specifically in Cincinnati right now? I guess what's the biggest challenge within the Hispanic community? Some of those folks who are here undocumented and are waiting for that door knock, like the mother describes actually in this piece.
I think there is a lot of anxiety and fear in the community, so they are always in pins and needles to see what is going to happen and not knowing what might happen to them.
It affects things like even the ability to drive the kids to some kind of school activity. Every time that a person, unfortunately, the way things are set right now is that if a person cannot present a Social Security card, they can't get a driver's license. Not that they don't want to, they'd be happy to. And as a result of that, just getting in a car is a fearful thing.
What's the biggest fear and concern for these families?
I think kids are scared to go home and not finding their parents.
Sure.
And that is expressed in school and social service agency.
One of the things that I see in my organization is a mistrust of law enforcement. Our law enforcement system in the United States is very, very different from a lot of these originating countries. So there is already a distrust built in, especially if their home law enforcement agency has been known to be corrupt or what have you. Right. And so one of the biggest things that we have been talking about is the fact that there a lot of low-income undocumented immigrants live in low-income neighborhoods, and sometimes there is crime. And when there is a crime that happens there is a hesitation to report that crime in risking revealing their status.
Into the neighborhood.
And I appreciate, I'm from Hamilton, Ohio, and the chief of police has made it a special effort to say that what the Hamilton City Police, at least, is most concerned with is public safety. And he's already come and spoken to our folks after a Sunday Mass and just kind of said, that's what #1 thing. So please recognize that if you are a victim or if you are a witness, you can come forward.
When we do stories about immigration and undocumented immigrants, the reaction from the public is very divided. Some of the comments tied to this story specifically are just visceral. I mean, saying she should go back, she should be deported, illegal is illegal. Many words that I can't even describe and say, obviously, on TV. So what do you say to, because obviously this is part of the, I guess, the core of it, because someone who says, well, she's been here 15 years, why didn't she just apply and become a citizen? It's not that simple.
Or when you hear on the news that all the illegals have benefits or they are receiving government assistance, that is not true at all. If you don't have documents, you can't receive public assistance. So that's a big myth that you hear on the...
And then gets shared out on social media
yes,
over and over and over and over.
it is not true.
And I think another thing is that while people's status is illegal, they're still human beings. And I think we have to balance the law with compassion. And throughout our history in the United States, this great country, we've changed laws when we've come to an awareness that this just isn't a good law. We've changed it. I mean, what about prohibition? We want to appeal to what's best in our American character. And I think that's the tipping point. What are we going to appeal to in our American character? Because our American character does have fear as part of it, but it also has a lot more. And the reason that I'm proud to be an American is because of that other part, that embracing the huddled masses. And folks don't, you know, like these undocumented, or the kids who came on their own, the unaccompanied children. Can you imagine how tough it must be, life wherever it is in Central America, that a parent would say, that's the best that I can do for my child?
Well, thank you so much for joining us and being part of the discussion.
Sure, thank you.
We'll continue it.